Good morning to all our viewers. Today is the second day of our national holiday, so we should have a very nice day. So what's your plan, especially any place you would like to visit? But I believe two things you will feel. Number one, so many people. Where am I now? Just look at the whole crowd here. Still have a lot of people coming. I'm right now in the northeast of China's Jilin province. This is Longjing County. And this is the open market of ethnic Koreans to celebrate the National Day. So here you can see we have a very large market here. It's like a large fair. So the unique feature here, you can experience the 100 years traditional history of ethnic Koreans. So later on, I will show you around how we can travel the time back to the ancient time, because here you can see all the things that basically experienced 100 years ago or 50 years ago. And of course, we also have some very modern stuffs. So you can see this is very busy market. And I believe, so this is the band. So let's looking for their leader. This is their leader, band leader. So look at, you have a very colorful costume, and I believe you all have different instruments. So we're a band. Yes, we're from Yanji University. So this is our university club. So this is, I believe, in my traditional, like man side, I believe a lot of really the elderly people play this. For us, actually, we're all the ethnic Koreans. So we're really interested in this, our traditional instruments. So we organize a club and learn and train ourselves to play all these instruments. As long as you like the music, you like the instruments, and you like to work in a team, you're welcome to join us. So we have so many people here, and I believe that right now we're also in the harvest season in Longjing. We see a lot of the very fresh vegetables and fruits. So look at us, give us a closer shot. We look like we are really enjoying a happy life. We can see the full harvest, happy smell, lucky smell. So you are the leader, that's why I believe. So the market, the open market here, you can find a very, all these kind of the traditional cultures. And later on we will see their shows. All right, because this is the 100 years open market. For me, I only have limited knowledge, but I have a very special guest to accompany me, and let's meet our special guest. He has so rich knowledge about here, and I will show you, you will understand why he knows from A to Z about the whole Korean stuff. So this is Mr. Lee, and he's a board member of the Ethnic Korea History Centers, and I believe you know so well about the history of ethnic Korea. So I was born here. I was born in Longjing. I know exactly the history of Longjing and the history of ethnic Koreans in China. I studied for more than 40 years. So we are right now, I believe we will very soon see a program or there is a show. So this is our nice harvesting festival. And for this one, we want to showcase 100 years of fun and traditional history of ethnic Koreans. So this is more like we're making some stuff, right? It's also like a kind of a show. So let's look at this. As such, I believe this is really rare to see, and this is from the year 1909. Back then, I believe Japanese troops already invaded and dominated the area. So to showcase the Japanese army's achievements, they're invading so-called happy life for the locals. They took some pictures. So that's the picture 1909, the area of Longjing, this area. So I believe this is trading the animals, the cattle and horses, because they were back then the main means of productivity. This is the 1920s, also the picture of Longjing. So you can see what's in their bag is the carrots, the tomatoes, potatoes, and this is actually also the market for them to trade their agri-products. So this is more like the settings we have now. And this one also a market. So you can see it's very crowded, very busy market. And I believe the Koreans, ethnic Koreans, really like color white. So especially for the festivals, for the happy days, for the big days, they all wear in color white. So coming to 1930s, this is also the trading market. So you can see this is what they were trading. So basically they are daily supplies. Very busy. So after 110 years, we reset up the whole original settings like the ancient time. So these were the pictures back to 1909, 1920s, 30s. So I believe for today's market, we'll also actually bring back or bring our tourists, people here, to travel the time back to the history. So you look at the ancient housing, the ancient houses, everything. So I'm so excited. I'm also very curious. I would like to find out more about what kind of things they sold 100 years ago. So back then, they also had this kind of the bands or group of people dancing, singing. Yes, of course, this is something must have. And that's also for the promotion purpose. And this is the settings. So this is for the rice cake. So the housewives made rice cake. And they steam it. So they really like a slow motion, but the things they want to really showcase to the people here how they made the rice cake. Also, people really using their phones and cameras to capture this moment. So we understand that this is something we still actually have, more or less, but this is really full of meaning. Because this is so important, and really for the people right now, they not really see this, or they maybe not really do this back home. So for the dance here, what kind of, is there a name given to it? So let's talk about the 4 cups dancing. So basically, they're dancing for harvest. So you can see this is really excited as long as ethnic Koreans, because they are really born to dance, to sing. They have that in their DNA. So once they hear the sound of the music, will they very soon to join together. So what's at their back? That's also kind of a dance, but they also reflect their daily life. So you also can see the firewoods that are also for trading. And you also can see the clothes that's all for trading purpose. So we can see very soon, we can see that's also for the harvest dancing. You can see the pears, the apples, the agricultural products, a lot of things. So we can see this is the cabbage. Why? Because I believe that's the main ingredients of kimchi. That is why the cabbage always coming at the first place. So this is full of happiness. I believe when we started the live stream, people are still quite calm, but right now with the music, with this parade, everyone is so excited. So we have very special fruit here called apple pear. So that apple pear is something you only can find here in Longjing. So let's look at the different booths. Let's find out what they offer here. So people, I believe they sit here and enjoy some food here. So it's the same 100 years ago. So they just buy the food near the booth and they will sit and enjoy the food. I believe this is the same setting as before. So also see the other booths, they have a very special cooking dough. So their cooking bench with 2 woks on it. So I haven't seen this before. This is a very unique, we call it pans or woks. Okay, this is a very traditional woks. One for rice, cooking rice. Another for soups. So they will cook together. So one for rice, another for soups. So this is iron woks. So this is in a traditional way. We always cook the food like this, and we also put this outside the room. So we burn firewoods. So the Korean, ethnic Koreans, we really like a different kind of soups. So that is why we have 8 separate boxes for soups. So I believe that you will find it through the 100 years. You always can find this kind of box. So I believe what's inside is the corn, because this is also a time to harvest corns. So I can tell they will be very fresh. So for ethnic Koreans, we planted a lot corns. So I believe the market is around 100 or 200 meters long. And this is the traditional room, right? I believe. And this too means pancake or 청병. And I believe we also have kimchi here. That's very traditional, typical Korean food. Oh, there are plenty of kimchis here. All different kinds. Can I try? Yes, of course. Help yourself. So, all the viewers, forgive me. I will have no time to talk. So this is a traditional, typical kimchi. So this is really. So hear the sound. It's really good. Very fresh and crisp. So before the new China established, kimchi was the main vegetables, because back then we lack of vegetables or food. So that is why the ethnic Koreans, they all had the kimchi back home. So they always ate rice with kimchi. So talk about the kimchi. So how many kimchi we have? So depends on different ingredients. They all taste different. So they're not only with cabbage. So for Korean kimchi, there are so many. So they have a garlic kimchi. Cabbage kimchi. And this is how they made traditional kimchi. This can be made by ourselves. A lot of things like quite complicated, that our parents basically only know how to make it. So for the young generations, yes, a lot of young generation, they didn't know how to make it. For our 3 girls here, they know how to make, but the very simple ones, they know how to make it. And I believe the open market is full of importance or significance, is that we also through this kind of the food culture to educate the next generations and carry forward our fun tradition. I believe for food culture, that's very easy to pass into the next generations, because it's a half market. It's still quite good in commercialization. And it's very easy to sell. So still for kimchi or for food at large, it's very good because we still have a big market. So this kind of the market, I believe the kimchi they're making is quite maybe different. So they just made some little minor changes, but the taste will be a big difference. And also like the floor, I believe will also bring back ourselves to 100 years ago. So also had rain yesterday. So you can see we have some earth and you can smell the soil with rain. And here comes the rice wine. Rice wine, so rice or corn. So drink wine. So you're from Yanji University, right? So from the bank. So you just had your show and then right now time to drink. So talking about our rice wine, just 2 degrees less than beer, so it's okay. So this is your 3rd class. Cheers. So why we have different colors? So we have blueberry, corn, and rice. So just now I hate blueberry. Blueberry one's so tasty. So these 3 are the best sellers. Let me try. This is also my first time. So I believe this is quite creative this year. So the blueberry one. It's really nice. It's very tasty. So this is the blueberry one. It should be blue. No, it's quite like a pink. So that's a pink color. So this is a blueberry taste. So blueberry flavor, that's right now we sold in bottles or how we sell it. So we sell by bottles. So if like us, we come in here, we want to buy a bottle of rice wine, how much? For the wholesale price, 20 RMB. And for smaller ones, 10 RMB. It's a very, very good price. Very accessible price. So price are variable depending on the supplier, but more or less is this kind of price. So the ethnic Koreans, we really like to make the rice wine back home. Either you use rice or corn. So this is a fish-shaped cake. So this is also, of course, we made by flour. This is the new way we cook it. So we have a different. So that is why you're next to the booth of rice wine, because actually this always comes with rice wine. So a fish-shaped cake, not ready yet. So we have kim. So this is the fish shape cake. fish-shaped cake. You can tell the reason why it names in this way. But it's not made by fish. The ingredients actually is flour.
好的，我们那边再看一看。李老师，那个咱们朝鲜族，你给我们介绍一下。
Mr. Lee will talk about for the ethnic Koreans what kind of food that people eat more than 100 years.
就是大米饭，
We'll talk about rice.
米饭也算，人民大米很有名。
Rice for sure.
大糕，这是最
And for the
最常吃的。
dog or the rice cake, that's always half.
杂粮，杂粮的饭，五个杂粮这个。
And also we talk about
这是饭类。
the
这个我们
green crops. So that's kind of the rice but with different crops.
还有那个
And also the corn, we also ate a lot. We talk about the rice wine,
等等，
kimchi,
还有这肠，
米肠应该就是这个吧？啊，不是这个吧。
and also sundae. So sundae is kind of like sausage, but it made by rice.
好，我们往这边看一看。这个锅也是传统锅。
So this is also another traditional wok.
这个也很古朴啊，这是真的假的？假的吧？
So we look at the different booths.
这个放水，然后就。
So this is the well. We don't know whether it still works now.
这个也是。啊，用过一些场景展示是吧？普通家庭吧，这应该是。
And this is way back the sightings, like traditional home design. So you can see the family photos. I believe that's 1960s or 70s.
也就是这条200多米长的这个街啊。
So just around 200 meters long, the market actually captured or snapshot 100 years fine tradition. We always travel the time, so we're back to 1910s, 20s, and like these kind of sightings and pictures in 1960s or 70s. So for Mr. Lee, you're born before the new China established and coming to modern time.
跟网友最想说的一段话跟我们说。
So what you really like to share with our viewers? So after the reform and the opening up, Yanbian, we believe we had a profound changes. We witnessed huge changes. A lot of modernization happened here. And we, of course, on the other hand, we preserve our fine traditions.
国内外客人到龙井。
So we also invite the visitors coming to Longjing to enjoy the fine tradition of the Korean ethnic Koreans, eat some food, and enjoy our culture
我们生活的
as an ethnic group.
祖国。
Actually, we live a very happy life. We have a very good harvest, and we also pay tribute to the country's development. So would you please end
来怎么说呢？
by a
여러분들
sentence of Korean?
아름다운 용적으로 놀러 오십시오. 용적은 환영합니다. 여러분들을.
So welcome to Longjing. Longjing welcome you here. So we also would like to see our guests from home and abroad to Longjing.
好的，这个环节感谢您的这个嘉宾的这个。
Thank you, Mr. Lee. Thank you, our special guest. Thank you so much.
我们是在这儿休息是吗？一会儿还有演出。好的，各位网友，这个我们的这个传统集市啊。
To all the viewers, right now we are at the open market of ethnic Koreans.
接下来进行的呢，是下一个。
The market brings ethnic Koreans products and people together. So we also have another session. I also see another special guest, a very beautiful lady here.
龙井市图书馆的馆长申馆长，
So,
非常的漂亮。
so Shen from
土生土长的龙井人吧。
the Longjing
土生土长
museum, and you're also born here, right? So this is a traditional costume, right? This is for the festival purpose. So for the grand ceremony or for the holidays, this is the kind of clothes we wear.
刚才呢，这个李老师是40后，那您
But just now, Mr. Lee born 1940s. I'm born of 1960s.
身后的这条街的这种主题的概念，也就是
I'm also
逛
the
了这个百年集市。我们身后
experience a lot here. So we talk about the 100 years market, but here we talk about that's the market that will bring the settings back to the time of 1950s. So that's the settings we talk about maybe 50 years ago. So we can see that back then, this is the kind of the look 50 years ago.
来，我们看一下，首先就有一个像老照相馆的那种感觉，但是把它牌子的内容不一样，叫老照片展，是吧？
So this is a photo studio. So the more like a photo gallery. Here you can see the pictures from different times. So we also have the pictures before China's reform and opening up. And Highland River, this is this natural look. And this is the one we have now. So we bring its very beautiful park conservation area. So that's around 30 years. So that on the left hand side is 30 years ago, on the right hand side is 30 years later.
95年拍的棚户区嘛，明显是，对吧？现在已经是高楼大厦整洁的大街。
So we also have the picture showing before and after. That's people before living in the shabby housing, and right now they bring to the very beautiful buildings. So for people, especially they born here, they always bring the memories back to us. So we talk a lot here. We have a lot of memories. That's in my childhood. So we have 7 villages. Dongsheng is one of the village. So this is the original look of that people's commune. So we really focus on education in the Jilin province. We always talk about we should do all our efforts to bring our kids to school to let them receive the education. So we tell actually the ethnic Koreans really focus on the education of their next generations.
这个不论这个多大年龄的人啊，都喜欢这个在这个场景下来看一看当年的课。
So we can tell we have so many people here, and we also have people here experience the classroom. So we can tell here people with different age, they always like to enjoy the classroom settings.
其实，申馆长，我们在这条街上有个最大的感触。
To Miss Shen, my feeling is that here is not really like a trading market. We not have a lot of the trading stuffs. So we talk about back then, that's around 50 years or 60 years ago, we were not have very sufficient products for trading purpose. But we can tell this is a really nice place to bring people back to that childhood time. So for me, actually, I really touching. We talk about the clothing stores. Actually, we brought our clothes and to these apparel shops. And then we have the coat noodle shop here. So we talk about liangmian or coat noodle. This is a very traditional food. So you always can find Korean people eating coat noodle even today.
看一下这个里面，
So let's find out what's inside.
非常小，人都满了，虽然没有卖冷面
Full of people.
想看一看。大家可以看一
So
下。
although we're not selling cold noodle here, but this is kind of the traditional shop of the cold noodle.
店面要豪华很多。
So although the modern age shop will look more fancy, but this is how it looks like 50 years ago. And we also have hair salon. So we can tell this is our hair salon back then. And you just want to have a very nice hair shape. You will go to here. And how much it costs? That's just around 50 cents. So this is the traditional hair salon.
拍照，大家可以看一下那个理发的椅子啊，真是应该就是。
So let's look at the chairs. I believe that's the same chair we preserved. That's quite identical around China. That's identical hair salon chair. So in my memory, for the children's here, we will have another chair on top of it.
真的这个。
And we also can sit on the same chair and for shaving. So that's the quite same chair around China for a hair salon. So we talk about that here. It's not really like a fair. It's not like a trading market. This is more bring the memories to us. And we have another that's a photo studio, and we always took photos, family photos in the studio. And we talk about for the ethnic Koreans, they always need to take a photo when they turn 60 years old. So when the people celebrate their 60th birthday, themselves or their children always bring them to take a photo here. That's the tradition. The toy shop. Well, we talk back then, actually there were not a lot of products, items inside, but really children all really want to stay or live inside. For people from Northeast region, especially for the boys, you all know this one. This is very traditional. I don't know, maybe for the southern part of China, I don't know whether you have that or not. So this is something we always played in our childhood life. And actually, we only have that name, but we don't have that in the written language. So actually, a lot of stuff you're looking at here, we actually collected from different families. And this is the theater. We only have one theater, so you can tell. For me, actually, I always look at the movies outside. So the open air cinema was so popular back then. That is also because of we only had one theater, movie theater. in the region. So it's quite a simple life, but the people have full enthusiasm and they always dream for a better life. We enter into a new era, and of course we will live a better life. Same for Longjing. We will have a better development and wish our country thriving and prosperous. And also please say wontons in Korean to welcome our viewers to Longjing. To all the viewers. So this is the street with the history of 50 years. And coming up, we'll look at our netizen born after 1980s. My name is Zhang Guoze, born 1981. I'm from the cultural office of Longjing County, and this is our traditional custom. So, but the colors for male, what kind of colors always wear? So we not have anything really fixed, but we talk about like color blue or any dark colors. That's kind of a popular color for men. Just now, Mr. Lee showed us the 100 years market, and Madam Shen showed us the market that's 50 years ago. And here we come to the modern time. So this is quite kind of the market we always can find here. So talk about if our viewers would like to come to Longjing for a visit. What kind of things, activities they must to do. So after China's reform and opening up, you can tell Longjing really enjoy a fast development and people's living standards much improved. So for Yanbian areas, number one stuff you must have is kimchi. Kimchi is something you must try. What else? Sundae. So that's the sausage with rice, and also of course cold noodles. And also the tunjang, that's the celery bean paste soup. So today we enjoy very nice weather, it's around 20 degrees Celsius, very cool weather, and we can tell we have a very unique scene here. So hope our visitors and viewers can see, it's like we have a sun and moon at the same time. This is really rare to be seen. So we have, this is believe it's moon. So the angle between 90 degrees, so we have sun and moon appear up in the sky, in the air at the same time. So we talk about the soybean soup. So we always talk about the kimchi. So what's the role of kimchi? So you could not eat a meal without kimchi. So we talk about the people here in Yanbian, kimchi is something you must have on the dining table. And in the winter, we will also make kimchi by ourselves. So the kimchi we made for us to eat for half of a year. So we talk about almost every family can make kimchi. So we talk about this is also kind of a touring festival. Why we organize this kind of fair? So let's first have a try to make some kimchi. It's always many people here. Can tell there is really busy. You can tell people really like to have try to make their own kimchi. So this is the experiment areas with our visitors to make the kimchi by themselves. So we can tell actually it's not just very simply just put the pepper or sauce on top of the cabbage. That's it. That's the kimchi. That's not. Actually, for kimchi, how to make kimchi, especially how to make very delicious ones, that's very, very difficult. That's not an easy job. Actually, there are a lot of things you need to think about. For that actually require a technique. So how to make a very delicious one? You can tell different people make different tastes of kimchi. Although they use same sauce, same ingredients, the tastes are all different. So we talk about the amount of salt and what kind of the timing is the right time to put the salt, how to make different steps. Actually, the double in the details, that's really, really complicated. There are a lot of stories to tell for different steps. So we tell different people make different tastes of kimchi. So some kimchi is really crisp and some is sour and sweet. So it's all different. So we have the housewives here. They also show their skills of making kimchi. And they are really experienced housewives. So we believe this is where we should start. So this is first we put salt here. So we talk about the kimchi was so tasty. What's the secret? Show me your secret. You should find a good cabbage, good sauce, good ingredients. Everything should be really good. What kind of cabbage is good for us to make kimchi? These kind of. So you should find their inside should be yellow. So we actually should make kimchi layer by layer. So this is the sauce. Have a try. Not spicy, right? It's different from the one I just tasted in the open market. They're all good, but different. And I believe I taste the caviar. For our viewers, this is really place worth for a visit. And also, I believe as long as you ask, you will always have free food. So I believe we have a huge amount of kimchi produced here. All different kinds of kimchi. So this is really huge areas for making kimchi. So look at our tourists here. They all enjoy kimchi here, and I will talk about the role of kimchi. Is that it should be like a main actor. Without kimchi, the people of ethnic Koreans, they won't eat. So we talk about for kimchi. For one kimchi, we have different kinds of subtypes of kimchi. So that is also we want to through this kind of festivals, markets, we would like to educate young generations to let them know, learn, and manage and carry forward our fine tradition and culture. So we talk about kimchi as something you can find everywhere in any market, in any supermarket as well. And we talk about we also like the barbecue. So we always talk about like for us for the area here for the northeast region. We enjoy barbecue for 3 meals every day. So we talk about barbecue here in Yanbi. It's different from Liaoning or other areas. So for the people here, we also quite like barbecue and also, of course, with beer. So how that different? What's the difference of barbecue? And we eat mainly the lambs. So we have a different kinds of the lamb and also the pork, and also have a different sauce. So different way of cook it. So this is a very, very famous shop. So this is Longjing Special. So talk about the shashliks. So how it's very unique from other regions in northeast of China. First, our meat should be the really high quality ones. So we always have the suppliers. They have really strict standards. We're not just saying any kind of food or any kind of meat, we're okay. We have a really high standards and requirement on meat. And we also, of course, not all all the parts of the lamb are good to make shashlik. We only use 4 legs to make the lamb shashlik. So for that high standards, we make the lamb shashlik very juicy. And we also have different kinds of shashlik. And talk about our areas actually where the bordering country, the bordering areas to the Russia and the DPRK, and we're also near the sea, so the people here really enjoy the slit fish. We also make that into the shashlik. So we also have a big stage here, so we have different programs on the stage. So of course you can tell it's not professional performers. So for the festival, they prepared the different programs. And the theme is that we would like to bring the time back to 1970s. So we will tell that we will bring, actually this is a combination of the traditional ethnic Korean dance plus the modern dance style. So we talk about the people, actually they experience the 40 years of China's reform and opening up. You can tell people on the stage, they really actually sing and dance from deep of their heart because they experience the same development stage with the country. And we also talk about the songs and dance, actually that's back to 1970s. So we believe we have more and more people here. It's a very busy market and busy festivals. Give you 20 seconds to talk about how to really attract our viewers coming to here. So Longjing is a very typical ethnic Korean county. It's full of different features, which I can see you here. We have very nice people, nice food, nice scenes here. We will visit you here. So thank you for watching. We are bringing you the live from Longjing.